sewing friends. So today I want to show you my vintage pattern and fabric haul. Now this haul is going to be a little different than some other ones you might see online, but I want you to stick with me through this, okay? So I've got a bunch of vintage patterns I want to share with you that I think are totally awesome that are in this fabric and pattern haul. But I also want to share with you that everything you're looking at here, almost everything, came from my stash. So when we talk about fabric haul, and pattern haul, let's start looking at our own stash. So let's take a look at a couple of these awesome vintage patterns. I'm going to pull up this one first. Vogue Elements was one of my favorite lines of patterns back in the 1990s. So it started in about 1995 and continued through maybe 1999. It was an initiative of Vogue, and it probably preceded a lot of the modern sewing pattern designers that we know and love today. This look was very different for Vogue, and I think it ushered in that era of these indie patterns and the way that they photograph and create things. This is a bias cut skirt. It's totally awesome. You can take a look at the back there. Very on trend, knee length, but midi length, perfectly on trend. These still fit me, even 20 pounds heavier, because again, bias cut. So I made them in beautiful silks and an absolutely gorgeous leopard print rayon that I still wear. So love this skirt, gonna make it again. Now, another vintage pattern that I really like is this tank top right here. This is a classic 1990s woven tank top. A little bit loose, slightly higher scoop neck, but totally on trend right now. And I'm gonna make this in linen for summer. This is one of my favorites, and my cousin tells me that her daughters would absolutely go gaga over this. But I've made every piece in here. I've made the skirt, I made the pants, I made the crop top, and I made the oversized shirt, which also could turn into a shirt dress. And these are awesome patterns. Aren't they totally awesome? Now, my crop top tops like that days are probably long over, but that tank top looks pretty fun, and I think I might make that. This is all made in wovens. So that's another great vintage pattern that I'm gonna go with. Look at this vintage pattern. I probably have three of these Simplicity 1 hour tops, but look at those awesome crop tops there in a knit. Those are gonna be incredible in some cream juicy couture knit, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do that short sleeve one. But you know, we'll see. I might get to the long sleeve one too. So look at that. Totally awesome pattern, all in knits. This is one of my favorite vintage patterns too that I want to share with you. Look at that shirt dress. Isn't that amazing? Cut on cap sleeve, totally awesome shirt dress. Gonna make that in a plaid, which you'll see here in a minute. That's gonna be awesome for summer. I'm also gonna wear it as a duster over the top and pants that I'm making too. So that's gonna be an awesome one. Great vintage pattern right there. This one, not quite vintage, probably retro more than vintage, but these are classic 1990s pants. This pattern probably came out actually in the early 2000s, so it's still the looser, casual pant that we're wearing today. I'll probably crop it, the pants, but these are a basic elastic waist pant, and I will probably add some side seam pockets into it and also some back pockets. I also made the tube top, which is super fun, and I still wear it. Might even make another one of those and in it too, so that's a lot of fun. You can find this one on eBay for sure. That's out there. And then a couple of newer patterns here. The Closet Core Mile End for my teen for sweatshirts. And then the Style Sew Me Madison cardigan. This one is so long, I had to take 7 inches out of the back just to get it to be off the ground. I'm 5'3", and I've been told by other people that it's really long, but it's extremely dramatic. And I wanted a long, dramatic duster for spring to wear over my outfits. So let's take a look at some fabrics now, and we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do with these. So I want to point out to you that some of these fabrics have been in my stash for a short period of time, and some of these fabrics have been in my stash for a very long period of time. And one of these fabrics, I don't even know where it came from. It was in somebody else's stash. But we have so much awesome fabric in our stashes and so many patterns in our stashes that when we start talking about haul videos, I want us to start hauling stuff out that we already own and starting to use it, because there's nothing better than sewing something that you already have, particularly if someone else has paid for it. So this one on the end, this really nice lightweight plaid shirting, it's going to become that awesome shirt dress duster. I just love this print. It's very soft. It's beautiful. It's got some blues and some purples in it. This is going to be super lightweight for summer and a great kind of summery plaid look. Gonna love that. This one was gifted to me. I don't know where it came from. I'm told it came from a friend of mine, and it may have come from her grandma, maybe, I don't know, her aunt. Somebody in her family had this. So I just acquired this somehow. It ended up in my stash. I like it. I'm going to sew with it. This one, I did buy this one recently from my local fabric store. This one is Merchant & Mills linen and rayon, and it's in a beautiful indigo color. This is going to become some elastic waist pants and also that loose tank top. And same thing with this. I did purchase this one recently. This is also Merchant & Mills. This is that rayon linen, and I'm going to make this into a pair of elastic waist pants. Now this other piece over here is some Juicy Couture. It's a fairly lightweight, it's almost got a rib pattern in it, and I have a lot of it. So the Style Sew Me cardigan was perfect for it because I'm going to use like 3 yards of it just to like get it out of my stash, and then I'll probably also make a knit t-shirt out of it as well. So this has actually got the word juicy sort of knit into it, but it's very subtle, so it's not going to be too over the top. Juicy Couture. But for those of you who remember Juicy, that was like 1999, 2000, you guys. So this stuff has been in my stash for a very long time, but it's still great fabric. This French Terry and this sweatshirting I bought probably within the last 6 months or so, so these are a little bit newer, but I paired it with these other things, and you see they work really well. Now, all fairness, this is going to become a sweatshirt for my daughter, my teenage daughter, and this is going to become a sweatshirt for my teenage daughter, but I have enough to do enough for myself as well. So it's going to be 2 sweatshirts, probably the mile end. So you can see here, we need to start embracing our own fabric and pattern haul. We need to go downstairs or in our cabinet or in our closet. We need to start hauling out stuff, and we need to start sharing it and acknowledging that we have already purchased this stuff and we need to sew it. So with a couple of new fabrics and a bunch of patterns that I already had, I am reinvigorating my fabric stash by pulling out things that I already have. So that's my haul video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit of a different haul video, and that I didn't just go out and pick all this stuff up. I hauled it up from my basement and put it all together here for you to see today. There's a lot of great pieces in here that I can go ahead and put together into a wonderful spring and summer capsule wardrobe here. And that's the kind of thing that we need to be thinking about. We need to be thinking sustainable. Sewing is only sustainable if we're using the stuff that we've already purchased. And these things, a lot of this stuff has been in my stash or someone else's stash for a very long time, and it just needs to be sewn. It does. It really does need to be sewn. Now, the thing with vintage patterns that you need to know is sometimes you might not have the size. Like, for example, this one here says the bust size is 28. I hazard a guess that my bust size, maybe that says 38. Let's say 38. The print is really tiny. Look at that. Bust size 38. My bust is 38, but it might be like a 39. So if you don't have quite enough room and it doesn't say that it's loose fitting, you can always just draw an extra line on the outside of whatever the largest size is to go ahead and make a vintage pattern, particularly in a dress. So if I look at this pattern and I say, you know what, 38 is not quite enough, I'm just going to go ahead and trace out an extra line, and I'm going to follow the same dimensions as all of the other size lines to go ahead and create something a little bit bigger for myself. So when you're working with vintage patterns, definitely take a look and see if you can do that. You can do that with almost any pattern. You can also take the largest size line, slide the pattern over a little bit to one of the other size lines, and then trace that, and that will give you the exact shape. So in other words, you're lining up the pattern, but you're putting your tracing paper on top of it and then just kind of moving it out to create that extra size line. So don't worry about the vintage patterns not being your size. You have a lot of flexibility in making them larger just by using a pencil and some tracing paper. Now this one here actually goes up to 44 to 46, so I got plenty of room in that one to go up there for my 39.5-inch bust, so plenty of room in that one. And then this one here, I think this one actually goes up to a size 18. They don't even give me, oh yeah, they give me dimensions along here. So a size 18 in this particular pattern is a 40. So there you go. A lot of older patterns, particularly Butterick and things like that, if you have the larger size and they didn't have the sized versions, like this one, actually, no, it says I have the 6, 8, 10, 12 version. So the largest size that I can choose in here is a 34-inch bust. So I'll definitely be extending this out using that method that I just talked about. And then the rest of these, I think I definitely have a big enough size. This one is 8 to 14, so size 14 is a 36. I'll be going up in this one too. Again, it's easy to do. Don't be afraid of vintage patterns. You can take them up and make them larger sizes, even if they're in your stash. And even if you've cut them out before, you can still do the same thing. This one definitely came in all sizes. This came in an extra large. And I definitely think I would probably fit into an extra large these days, although I probably, at this point, I probably cut this, since I can wear my other ones, I probably cut this in a 12 or a 14 originally, and so I can probably do that with this. So pattern and fabric haul stuff up from your stash. Sew it, make it, wear it. Love it.